There are over 500,000 kids in foster care across the United States, and making sure they're well taken care of takes a village. I'm Erin Lindstrom, and this is Foster Care Aware, a production brought to you by Tidewater Friends of Foster Care with support from the Barry Robinson Center. If you've had it on your heart to become a foster parent, volunteer, donor, advocate, or just want to learn more, you're in the right place. For more information on how to move forward, head to fostercareaware.org/next steps. And now I'm thrilled to share today's segment with you. Hey there, I am Erin Lindstrom, and I am joined with Audra Bullock, the president and director of Tidewater Friends of Foster Care, and Joy Rios, the founder and director of Connect with a Wish, and a Tidewater Friends of Foster Care board member, and an adoptive and foster parent. So Joy, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Would you please kind of just tell our audience a little bit about like who you are and a little bit about your path to the world of foster care and adoption?
Sure. My oldest child is 20. She's my daughter. And we adopted her clearly young. She was 2 weeks old. That was 20 years ago. And that started our journey into adoption, which later became into foster care. But it opened our eyes to foster care because she was first placed in foster care. And we adopted her, not as foster parents, but as adoptive parents when she was 2 weeks old. At that time, my vision of what foster care was very clouded. All I could know is that I was getting this newborn baby and I don't know where she was and who she was with and was she being taken care of and was she being held, and, panic stricken until the moment where I met her amazing foster parent, who is definitely one of the angels walking the earth, who took her in and along with another baby and a child of her own, of course, a few in the house, and took well care of her, and actually was our first babysitter because we were new to the area and had no children here, or had no friends here. Sorry about that. Anyway, so that's what opened our eyes to foster care, where I had not known the sacrifices and what it took in these people, and seeing that planted that seed, which came back later in life as I went on to build our family, and then wanting to give back, and said, this is an area that we need to know more about and find out where the needs are. And that's what brought us here.
Amazing. And Joy, I know you've adopted 3 children, right? Mm-hmm. And you're now a foster parent,
yes,
right? In addition, so you've got 4 in your home. That's a lot.
Yes. Well, 2 that come in and out at this point. We've got the college years, but yeah, 2 here all the time and 2 at any different time. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And this led you to a path to do something a little bit more. Can you tell us about how this culminated into Connect with a Wish?
Yes. So probably back now, we may be going back 12, 13 years, I started with Holiday Project, which is a program through the city, as you're familiar with, where they get the wishes of the kids at Christmas time and they go out and find sponsors to fill those gifts. So we got involved.
Hey, Joy, let me interject one thing about the Holiday Project. I think our viewers probably don't know is the city is not allowed to spend money on holiday gifts for foster children. So that's why they rely on community supporters like you to do it. So thank you for letting me interrupt.
Yes. So that's exactly what it is. And we started taking on part of that project, many years ago when my kids were little, very young. And in lieu of their birthday gifts, we wanted to go ahead and see if we could do that. Started out as my kid's birthday party, and then grew on to involving the whole school at St. John the Apostle Catholic School, to involving the CCD program, to where we were then filling the gifts of 150 of the 200 and something kids in foster care. So after doing that for about 10 years in a row, every year I would come back to it and I'd have more people reaching out, what else can we do? Businesses, you're still doing that, and long after the term. So I just knew there was support out there and people didn't know. And when I would talk about, as when you talk about foster care, many people just don't know. They don't know, they have no idea. And by sharing that news and recognizing there's people out there that want to help, 6 years ago, we sat around and we talked about it, my family, and what we wanted to do, and came up with a name and said, we can do this wish thing probably year round. Let's see how we can do this. And, did my research and talked with Human Services in Virginia Beach and got our foot in the door and took it from there. And it's snowballed.
Amazing.
Just all the programs we have today.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the programs and the services that Connect with a Wish offers?
Sure. So it was rooted around the WISH program, which we thought, let's let's get an idea of the kids who have been in care the longest. We'll start with them, and what is something that they would wish for. And we wanted to promote wishes that would be long lasting. So a kid's an interest. There's no extracurricular activities are not paid for through the city. And if your foster parents typically, like I mentioned before, have more than one kid, and often children of their own as well. So the money's tight for those things. So we really try to promote extracurricular activities, things that the kids really have hoped for a while, not an impulsive wish, although, you still have those because they're teenagers, they're kids, and, they're just dying for that pair of sneakers or whatever it might be. If that's really what it is, then that's what we take, or that's what we'll get. But we have kids all over the cities going to dance classes, taekwondo, music, voice, art, things like that. In addition to, we help out with first cars, a suit for an interview, you name it. And whatever that wish is, we usually come through for it. We've done a Giants game, tickets to a game, just whatever they wish for. So that started the program, and then it went from there. After being in human services, the first thing we found out was a lot of kids go unrecognized at their birthdays, which, our small group of volunteers at that time were like, no way, this can't be possible. We can't have this. So we started the Birthday Brigade, where we collect a lot of very simple items: cake mix, icing, candles, birthday plates, napkins, everything you need for a small celebration of a birthday, including the cake. So we've put those together, plus a gift. And, the Birthday Brigade has grown over the years to include lots of good stuff in there. And we do about 20 a month for that. We get a list from Human Services at the end of each month of who's coming next month. And they go out to the social worker, so they don't have to greet those kids, because they're not in a situation where they can buy every child on their caseload a birthday gift.
Yeah, there's no funding for that. There's no state funding for that. And I think a lot of people out there that would assume that those things are taken care of, and are shocked when they find out that they're not. And particularly, I want to go back to the extracurricular stuff, because I really feel that that's so important, not just because, the studies show that kids that participate in extracurricular activities do better in a classroom setting because they're learning skill sets that are germane to classroom knowledge, but not taught in the classroom: team building, collaboration, following a coach. But I think it gives them some normalcy. And our viewers probably also don't know, until just a few years ago, foster children had no mandated right to normalcy, to have experiences like other children do that are not in foster care, to go on field trips, to play sports, to spend the night at a friend's house. So I think the fact that you were pushing that forward and supporting that before the normalcy laws rolled out, I think is just amazing. And the other thing, to your point of, the monthly maintenance payments that come along with these children to support them really are at a very, very low level. And although there is an allocation in there that's supposed to be carved out for extracurricular activities, it's, dollars per month, which is not a healthy extracurricular
that could be
budget.
Family trip out for a day, not
exactly
a weekly school
exactly
or whatever.
Exactly. And if you can put yourself in the child's position, is you're away from your birth family. Now you're in kind of a strange environment, getting used to that, and you don't get afforded what all of the other peers around you are, is from a just an activity perspective. I just think it's phenomenal what you all do.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
With that, like you said, having them feel like they are just like everybody else is doing, and that goes along with our programs with the closed closet as well. We don't want these kids to have any more red flags on them that they are different, or that their situation is so much greater or worse, better, whatever, than the next child in their classroom. And with the Prom Event, we want them to be able to go to these things and to participate and to feel like they belong, not just show up because they got a ticket. Show up because you have the best dress that you could possibly ever want, and that you can go out to dinner like the rest of them. And you should wear a different clothing item 5 days a week at school without having to repeat the same thing twice, because that's all you have in your closet.
Right.
So
tell us a little bit more about the Prom Event, because I think that's a really special one that you do.
I love it. And well, not just me, it's probably what everybody loves. The first year we had about 5 or 6 kids, girls, and then it's just expanded because, showing up at your prom takes some confidence. And many of our teens have changed high school, sometimes up to 4 times in the 4 years that they're in high school. So there's not a lot of connection. There's friends have come and gone. Confidence level of showing up there is a big deal to get over. So, you know, you can get a voucher to go ahead and buy your prom ticket through social services and probably some money for a dress. However, that event, like I said, takes some nerve to show up. And prom is kind of a dreamy type of thing. People will always think about wanting to go to their prom. What are they going to wear when they get there? But are you really going to go? And do you really feel like you belong? So our event, the girls will come. We deck the place out. My husband's office next door gets cleared out, and we have hair and makeup professionals in there set up. They come in, they get their own personal shopper. There is catered food. They tell us their size dress, their favorite colors, you know, a little bit about what they would like. And then we take it from there. And we have probably 500 dresses at this point upstairs, new and gently used, of all sizes, color, and style. And the girls will get decked out from head to toe: jewelry, shoes, accessories, purses, the dress, and then they'll get the professional photos done there as well. So, and the fuss over them is just what's really moving. Every time they'll come out of that dressing room, whether they like the dress or not, just to get the reaction of everybody in the room. You know, and it's just a beautiful day. And I can tell you, I think girls have slept in those dresses that night when they left.
Sure they have.
Yeah, you know,
that big of a deal.
It's interesting because, you know, in some ways, like it's about prom, but it's not about prom. It's about all the feelings that come around from that, and being in your power and feeling the eyes on you that are like, wow, you look amazing. And for kids who don't have that all the time, it's such a gift to be able to give that. And, you know, I think all of us, the 3 of us, have come to motherhood through different paths. And I think we can agree across the board that, like, we want our children to have those experiences where they are able to feel that and to be in community and feel, like you were saying, Joy, like they belong there. And what Connect with a Wish does, what I think is so beautiful, is when the parent's not there to give that experience to their child, you're really like connecting the community with the opportunity to step in and create this experience that it's life-changing. It's those little things that actually stick with people and help us become who we are. So it's a really incredible
thing. It truly
thing.
is. I mean, that day is moving on the self-esteem board. I mean, those girls, there's tears from the volunteers and the girls. And we've opened it up in the past 2 years to not only girls that are just going to a formal, but 14 and up, because we want them to see who they can, you know, how to really feel that way. And that when their day comes, you know, you should go, you should make that memory. You deserve to be there. You belong there just like anybody else. So it's growing each year. And I think that it's catching on. And every girl that's coming, we have some repeat offenders that come back. You know, they're going to come back as long as they can, because it's just that big of a day. It really is.
That's
so
amazing.
Joy, for the community members who are watching this and maybe aren't ready or don't want, like, foster parenting is not for them, whether it's for now or forever, but they're hearing this and they're like, yes, that is what I want to be involved in and I want to help in this way. What kind of opportunities do you have for people to kind of step into to support Connect with a Wish?
I feel like Connect with a Wish has become a true window to the community to help, to want to help, because foster parenting is not for everybody. The Lord knows that we need everybody to do it, but, you know, it's just not for everyone. So that's okay. You can totally be a part. Like I mentioned with the Birthday Brigade, cake mixes. So if somebody wants to donate, if they want to become a part, they can make birthday cards if they have kids. Everybody wants to involve their kids in some kind of volunteer work. And with what we do, you know, you can't have one-on-one kids with kids because of confidentiality reasons, but they can come in and see the office and see our Birthday Brigade stuff and see what we're doing, because that really resonates with children, other youth, is that, you know, there's kids that aren't getting a birthday gift. So most kids, teams and things really like to participate in that. So they can do anything from make a birthday card, have their kids get involved with something like that. We have items listed on our website, everything from, like I said, a pair of socks to a nightlight to a birthday gift. So on all kinds of, across the line, across the board, you know, you don't need to make a donation of $500 to make a difference. You know, you don't. You can bring in these items, drop them off. You can donate your time. Our clothes closet is a constant need of work. I mean, because we go in there, we tear it up, and then we're on to the next thing. So it's like we always take volunteers to go ahead in there and, you know, do some organizing for us and get ready for the next visit.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, sorry, Erin. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to say one thing. No, I just think it's brilliant what you're saying too, how like it's a great way to get the family involved is by having these conversations, because kids do understand what other kids are going through. They have a lot of empathy. And also just even getting people together, if you're doing a girls' night or something, to have a piece or a portion that is maybe service-based, like to write cards or to just ask what the need is and see how easy is it to post on Facebook or to email your 5 friends and just get a couple people involved. And those little things end up making a huge difference.
Yeah, you do. They do.
Audra, sorry.
No, all I was going to say is that, the clothes closet, I think the concept behind it is amazing, and the need is real and there. There are clothing vouchers for these kids once they're in care, but when they come into care, they've lost virtually everything, and some of them literally everything. They don't get a chance to grab any of their possessions. They don't have socks and underwear. They don't have the deodorant or toothpaste or toothbrush. And so being able to have access to a free clothes closet and supply closet like what you have is so important. And particularly for foster parents too, because you get a child, you might not have, $400 or $500 to get all the foundational stuff for children. So it's incredible really what you do, from suitcases to move them to toothbrushes and all the toiletries and clothes. It really is amazing. And then the experiences that you provide them through all the other activities you do is great. Can you mention one thing about your youth group programs? Because I think that those are unique and really special.
They are. So we have youth groups meetings for the teenagers, 14 and up. We have separate boys, girl code, #girl code for the girls, and the boys youth group for the boys. We meet once a month when we're not in a pandemic, but we will be starting virtually this month. However, this started probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and we found a real need that the girls were making connections. We had a seminar on manners and glamour one summer, and it was like once a week for 5 weeks. And we recognized these girls just loved coming back because they were having conversations with each other they probably can't have in school or with just their neighbors or whatever the case is. They really found connection. And when that seminar was over, these girls were really sad about leaving us, leaving each other, and not knowing when they were going to see each other again. Other than the independent living meetings, there's not a place for them to really keep joining, to meet other kids that have gone through similar things. So we knew right away we had to come up with something. So we started the #girl code. We meet once a month. We have a handful of volunteers that are consistently with the girls and with the boys. And those relationships grow. Those kids are coming and looking for those specific adults. We could have one-on-one, and it's almost sometimes not enough adults because the kids really enjoy not only each other, but connecting with that one-on-one adult who is not their social worker, not their therapist, not their teacher. We're just here for you. And it truly makes a difference for the kids. And we've seen the growth in so many girls over a year or two of coming back. And then all of a sudden, the girl who wouldn't take her hood off is now singing at the talent show at the end of the season.
Amazing.
So it's been awesome. And with those meetings, we have guest speakers come in. We try to really do once a year for each boys and girls. We have adults who have formerly spent time in foster care that come out and talk to the kids about their experiences and how they've, conquered the numbers and the statistics and are doing well for themselves. That's always a profound meeting. We have lots of field trips, especially with the boys, because the girls will sit around and talk and they're happy, but the boys, you have to keep them active. So we do a lot of field trips for the boys, field trips for the girls as well, but the girls are content with a book club meeting. We do a spa night, lots of fun stuff.
Great. So if our viewers want to get engaged with you, how do they find you?
The website is probably the best, and they can always email us. Right, the website's the easiest, connectwithawish.org, and you can email us from there if you want to get on our email list. We're sending out emails once a week on the current needs that are coming up and involvement people that they can find out what fundraisers are coming up, what events, what volunteer opportunities. However, can you tell I'm Italian? I mean, my hands are, I'm watching myself and I'm trying to stop myself as my hands are flying through. Good grief. Anyway.
It's all good. It's all good.
Watch yourself talk to people,
Well, Joy, we so appreciate you sharing with us everything that you do, and most importantly, doing it all. You're an amazing, amazing person. You have an incredible family and a huge heart, and we just really appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having me, because whatever we can do to raise awareness and get people to think about becoming a foster parent, getting involved in one way, shape, or form, that's what we do.
Yeah, for people who are kind of on the fence and considering becoming a parent, do you have any words of advice or anything that you would want to share with them?
I have to say, take the next step, because I think that most people stay in that in-between zone of thinking about it, and then it passes and then it comes back. I say take the next step. Go to the parent information session, get some questions answered, talk to another foster parent. And that's another thing that's, I would say, is a big deal, is to talk to somebody else who's done it. But definitely take the next step, because so many people sit idle in that thought of, I wonder if I could, is this something that's for me? Go ahead and ask more questions and take the next step and figure it out.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Joy, for everything, for being with us, and for all your work in our community.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, guys. Have a great day.
And a big thank you for listening. Foster Care Aware is all about spreading the word about how we can help the kids who are in care in whatever capacity works for you. Tidewater Friends of Foster Care is here to help support you through the journey. Whether you want to be a foster parent, volunteer, donor, or advocate, head on over to fostercareaware.org/nextsteps to learn more.